thing about the project was that everybody was actually really excited about testing their own personal skills. They really saw this as an opportunity to show what they were capable of and to really, show off their skill set. The creatives here are just astoundingly patient and will help you learn along the way, answer the questions you have, and anticipate problems that might arise before you even need to figure out how to deal with them. On this project, it was a little bit different. We were working with a brand new client who comes from a sales background. So we were supposed to, work with him, kind of showing him the ropes for our process while at the same time, using our resources to also work on this project for him. We had a great team of people from each discipline involved in this project that came together to, meticulously think about each shot we were getting and how it would blend in with what we were already planning on creating in the 3D world. When we came to set, we knew exactly what the shots were going to be and, what elements the actor would need to imagine while he was on set in front of the green screen. So it was definitely a challenge and kind of a cool thing to have a project like this where we could, kind of impress someone who hadn't worked with us before.
I think on this project, it was different from others as far as the collaboration style because we had so many different animators involved. There were so many different pieces and it was so technical that we had to have up to 3 involved and all responsible for a different piece of the puzzle.
Yeah, it was just a very fun project to work on. It's always fun to experiment. We typically took the beginning of each day to say, hey, this is what I'm working on today. What do you need? The timeline didn't really give us, time to make any sheets. So it was just constant communication. It was about 2 solid weeks with weekends and late nights, hammering out as many assets as we could to populate the scene. I thought it'd be an engaging way to have a highly detailed 3D scene with a limited animation. So we were only animating the camera. Instead of Photoshop itself, we used the Quixel suite to procedurally generate tileable assets and just mask them out so we could easily create more organic looking textures quickly. Would have taken me a few days, took just half a day for the entire suit, half a day for all the tech pieces. It's always awesome to spend that much time on something and to actually watch the finished product and just to sit back and be like, all that hard work, amounted to something and walk away proud of it. It's always a great feeling.
It is very important for, I think, everyone in the process to understand the importance of color on any piece, whether it is a corporate piece, film, television, even using branding colors from a certain client's brand and incorporating that more in the piece. It can really, really help drive home certain points. For the SparkSecure piece here, obviously it was very influenced, and the look and feel of it was very influenced by things like Tron and I think some Christopher Nolan. And so looking at those films, I definitely tried my best to bring that in color as well. I guess from a color perspective, this project was a little more unique in the way that all that color palette was already there, set in there from the animators. I didn't have to worry about color correction. I went immediately into stylizing it and color grading it. Kyle, me and him had originally talked about the color, and he had this idea of bringing a more tech green into it. So when the vault door opens up, you see this tech green kind of spill out and start to mix with all the blues and the purples and the pinks that are already there. I love that shot. I love the way that turned out. I actually genuinely loved the look of this. I'm a big Tron fan. I'm a big fan of all the influences that are in this piece. So for me, I was really looking at it as fun, because it was. I was glad to be a part of it.
When I first was brought in, all that there was a still image of the suit. that was pretty inspiring to me. I immediately had like an idea of what I wanted it to sound like, but not exactly a theme per se. I knew from the beginning that I wanted this to be pretty cinematic, and that's my passion in general, is cinematic film-like soundscapes. So when I got this opportunity, I said, okay, I'm gonna make this as cinematic feeling as I can. So, you hear a lot of the synthesizer in there. Really, you don't hear any percussion or drums like that until you see the suit. And that was very intentional. You still have to feel the music while you're hearing the voiceover. Not only that, but when the sound design comes in, you have to be very conscious of you hear those doors opening. You hear the suit coming out and all the different sounds. That's important to hear those things and feel those things as well as the VO. So it's very delicate to mix all that stuff together. It all comes down to the mix in the end. And again, I got to, touch all of those aspects. So when I get to the mix, my goal is to make sure that the viewer, has the experience that was intended.
When I saw it all finally with the music behind it, it took it to a whole nother level where all of a sudden you kind of felt an emotion. And maybe part of that was, my sense of relief after 3 crazy weeks working with these guys to get this done. It was pretty sweet. And at that point, you see all that stuff come together and you're like, wow, this worked out.